Hi, welcome to my digital Lego city. It's not real, it's digital. In this episode, I filled up the space between the tire shop and the office building with a meat wholesaler and a quick spot for lunch for the workers. The building is a large two-story structure with garage doors spanning the entire first floor. It's based on the meat wholesalers from New York City's meatpacking district, especially how they looked back in the 1980s. I took a lot of inspiration from the old Royal Veal Corporation building, especially photos by Brian Rose, and here's his website. I really like the overall vibe of his photos, and it shows a lot of the features I wanted to include, like the overhead canopy, the metal trucks, and the signage. Links to Brian's website are in the description box below. One of the main features of New York's meatpacking buildings is the dark steel loading canopies, usually painted black or green, that provide cover from the weather while meat is unloaded from the trucks. In my building, the canopy wraps around 3 sides. Along this side of the building, there's a raised loading dock that snakes around the corner, making it easier to unload cargo. One section of the dock is slightly higher than the rest, which I imagine was done to accommodate truck beds of different heights. It's an interesting feature I added based on something I noticed in New York City years ago. Under the canopy is another classic feature of the meatpacking buildings, the overhead rail system used to move hanging carcasses. The building isn't square. It has an angled layout so it fits more naturally into the environment. It helps it feel like it actually belongs there, rather than something that was just plopped down. The angled layout does make things tricky, especially on the roof where the walls meet. Since everything sits at odd angles, the roof tiles don't line up very neatly, so the trick here was hiding some of those awkward corners with pipes and vents. At the back, there's a small outdoor retail market. It also sells fish and poultry. I like the look of this space, where people can walk down the alley right along the railway tracks to pick up some groceries. Hey, so the meatpacking buildings in the 1980s were pretty dilapidated, with the whole area looking pretty desolate. In my layout, however, one of the things I wanted to accomplish was to make the area feel lively and full of activity, as it did in the past, as opposed to the ultra grungy and creepy vibe. There are a lot of busy workers moving lots of products around, trying to get everything organized before the next shipment of meat comes. And of course, there's a boss keeping a close eye on everyone. Should be happy today though, since everyone's working hard. The building also has a second floor, mainly used for offices. On this side, there's a fire escape that wraps around the building and leads to the restaurant roof. On the other side, there's a balcony where the staff can step out for some fresh air, barbecue some lunch, and relax. At the back, there's a steel girder spiral staircase that leads up to the roof, and any extra space is used for storage. The roof is also packed with HVAC equipment, probably needed to support all the meat coolers in this old building. I really like Chinese barbecue, especially the combo plates with roasted meats, green vegetables, and rice. So I decided to add a small Chinese roast meat stall as another place for the workers in my Lego city to grab a quick lunch. This takeout-only restaurant is based on the roast meat shops you often see in the streets of Hong Kong. It was especially inspired by a video I saw of a stall chopping up food. People wait outside, place their order, and then watch as the meat is chopped on a well-used, dirty cutting board. Cash only. Inside, the food is prepared in a dark, gritty kitchen. There is a wok range in the corner and large roasting ovens along the wall. 2 more workers are busy chopping away in the cramped space. It's so tight that one worker has to prep vegetables outside, but at least he gets some fresh air. This cool commercial rice cooker is from a builder named Brandon, WYC. I build all my buildings in Bricklink's studio, so as I've been doing with my past few builds, I've uploaded the IO file so you can download it for free and get any ideas or inspiration. I did something different this time. Since the building is large and kind of a weird shape with all the angles, I decided to create a version that's more compatible with the modular builds most people have in their cities. This version is smaller, more compact, and the edges are square, so someone could in theory plop it down beside their existing modular builds. Here I placed my building beside some free modular builds I found on Bricklink just to see how it fits in with other people's modular builds, and I like the fit. Links to these builds are in the description box below. It was actually a pretty interesting exercise to take the original building and tweak it to be more compact. I actually kind of like the smaller version more. What do you think? To finish off the backlot, I created a scene where a boxcar is being unloaded directly into trucks, by hand, right on the street, with no equipment. The trucks are free models I found on Rebrickable. As usual, I've included the links of any resources and free models in the description box below. This scene was actually inspired by something I spotted on Google Maps in Mexico City. In the image, a boxcar is being unloaded right on the street, with workers transferring everything by hand into trucks. I thought it was a really cool and unusual setup, so I wanted to recreate something similar in my Lego city. Here we see a group of workers unloading this boxcar straight into their trucks. It's tough manual work, but sometimes you just have to get it done. And as a side note, Mexico City has some really interesting rail locations. In many areas, the tracks wind through dense, gritty neighborhoods, which can be a great source of inspiration if you're building switching layouts. I've already collected a bunch of areas that I want to recreate in Lego. That's it for this episode. Initially, I was going to continue building down the road, but I decided to fill up this gap instead. I've already started on the building next to the tire shop, but that might change. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.